Great, great. Really, really great. So, guys, you're welcome. You are perfectly welcome to this webinar where we're going to be sharing tips and insight on how you can become a pro business analyst, a project manager, generally, how you can secure a six-figure job as an immigrant living in Australia. And if you haven't met before, my name is Tayo. I'm a senior business analyst, also a co-founder of Sync Skills. And really, in the next 2 hours, less now, myself and Noah would support you or will walk you through learning the exact strategy that helped me to move from no tech background, no prior experience in tech, that has helped people in hundreds as well to move from zero background in tech, no prior experience in tech, no coding required, into moving into a six-figure tech job. When I say six-figure, I mean upwards of 120K jobs. That's going to make all the difference for you. I believe so, right? So those are the strategies that myself and Noah would be spending time. And you may wonder, why is this important? Because I don't want you to waste exorbitant money on certification. I don't want you to waste money on taking courses online that is not going to help you. I don't want you to go through the long route that I had to go through to get into my dream job. So I want to make your journey smoother, simpler, and much more streamlined than I had to. So please, I really, really want to ask us to please turn off all distractions. So if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, put your phone on DND, really. That's what myself and Noah are asking for today, because we really, really want you to make the best out of this session. If you can, grab a pen and a paper. Trust me, this session has helped multiple people in the past, and I really, really want you to take it seriously as well. So please, can you promise yourself that you're going to turn off all distractions? Now is the time to ignore any messages from your boyfriends, girlfriends, partners, whatnot. Now is the time to fully be in the groove, be in the mood. You have come into this session for a reason, and we have also not come here to waste your time. So please, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to feel like your time is wasted, but that can quickly happen if you do not turn off all distractions. So Noah is going to talk us through what exactly we're going to learn today in tiny bits of details. And that is, again, if you want to grab a pen and pen this down, so if you have any burning questions across as we go, it's easy for you to grab it and tell us exactly. So Noah, do you want to run us through step by step of what exactly we can expect to learn out of today's session?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Taya. You may be wondering why are we qualified to actually talk to you about this today. My name is Noah, and I've got Taya as well. We're gonna go into a bit of more introduction as we go ahead, but we're gonna just set the scene on exactly what you're going to be learning today. So in the last couple of years, specifically around almost 3 years now, we've been helping a lot of immigrants to learn the steps, to build skills, to go through that transformation that has put them in opportunities of their dreams. Like many of them attended sessions like this in the past
Yeah,
and really had that aha moment like,
yeah,
wow, this is possible for me and I'm going to commit to the process. Now, we're going to explain the exact step by step that many people, I don't know if you've heard about Sync Skills and the work that we've done before anywhere in the past, but I tell you, boy, we've done a lot of work to help people build their skills. So we're going to show you that exact step that we've helped people to be able to go through that journey. And it doesn't matter if you've got like experience in tech or not, if you've got IT background or not, if you've never worked professionally before, we've seen it all basically. So we're going to expose you to those steps. And the thing that is actually mind blowing is the fact that it takes somewhere around 3 to 6 months averagely for people to complete that full transformation to back that job offer, right? And we're going to talk about some of the things that people don't know that you can use your everyday skills. This is why we say it doesn't matter if you've got tech background or not. Your everyday skills like communication skills, your documentation, active listening, problem solving, all of those things you use today to live a fulfilling life. You can use that to secure better jobs in a high growth area that will give you flexibility, tap into your brain power and allow you live a more fulfilling life, right? So we're going to talk about also why it is dangerous to just focus on certification. Because again, we hear one of those things we hear is like, oh, are you going to do this certification? Oh, I have this four certification, but I'm not able to get opportunity. So we're going to explain exactly why it doesn't make sense to just focus on certification because that's not what the employer wants to hire you for, right? Certification is just like you are showing that you're an expert, but what the employer really wants, we're going to expose it to you. So please, I want you to really, turn off all distractions in this session. Trust us. Like this session, is easily worth $1,000, I tell you. And I'm not saying from a place of, just trying to brag. It literally has transformed people's life. And I'm talking on top of that, want to expose you to a lot of opportunities that are hidden. So many people don't know that, wow, there's a lot of opportunity in no-code tech roles, and they pay a lot. So I want to explain, show you, open your eyes to opportunities in no-code tech space. Remember, I said you can leverage your everyday skills to explore those opportunities. And we want to also show you again why it is not just coding jobs that pays the most. So we're going to break that down and explain it. Then we're going to explain how you can earn six-figure salary again with your everyday skills. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you just think about it like, oh, things I already know today, just learning a bit more and packaging in a way that I can go back that six-figure job that will give me flexibility, increase my earning power and all of that. I think that's incredible. Would you agree? Can you pop in the comment section? Like, does that make sense? Are you excited? Right? Let me see any comments there. Pop it in the chat. Does that make sense? All right.
Let us know
Yeah.
if that excites you.
Great. Okay, so I want you to like take a moment and imagine your life. Like if after like the secret on how people are actually securing, 130 plus jobs in tech, what would your life look like? I want you to dream about that. Like, what would change your life? What would that mean to you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason you're here today, and if you can't see, like the way I, visualize, but if you can't see the future, like have a plan, imagine that life, smell it, dream it, then you are just whinging it basically.
You can't think of what you can't see.
Yeah, so basically, we want you to think about it. Like once you have that information and you're like, wow, I actually can see how I can leverage my skills and move upwards and, explore this career that pays me this much and all the other perks that comes with it, what is my life going to look like? So just take a moment and think about that. All right? We really love for you to pop in the chat. Let's know so we know that um we are engaged. What we're saying makes sense to you. Please, you just pop in the chat. We really appreciate that. All right? I'm really waiting for us. Yeah? All right. Thank you. That's great. It'll be glorious. No shift to amazing. Thank you. Yay. Yeah, exactly. I need more feedback, guys. Really important. Lauren, thank you so much for that feedback.
Mm.
Because there's no point really, going forward if we don't actually can't imagine what our life would look like at that point. That's why this exercise is so important. So I really want you to get more comment in there. So we should picture because like what is the point of me and Tayo talking about the opportunity. If it's not something that really excites you, there's no point. So Lorraine, thank you so much for your feedback. Um, yeah, Mohammed, so far so good. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mohammed. All right, so please, we want you to picture a life where you don't have to work multiple jobs to earn 100K.
Yeah.
Tayo would share like a journey, right? And what was that journey like for you, Tayo, when your earlier years here in Australia?
A really great question. And thank you guys for all your contributions so far. Would love to see more. I just want to ask us for anyone in the room today. I would love to know what you are, where you are right now in terms of the number of jobs. Like if you have more than one job in the room, let me know in the group chat. So I work more than one job as of today, so I could make more money. Just give me a yes in the group chat because I know that that's something that I had to do at some point in my life. I actually had 3 jobs, and all those jobs I did within Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Monday, Sunday to Saturday, as you want to call it. So I want to know if you're in this room and you currently have more than one job, total of these jobs gives you about 90 to 100K. I want to know. And if it's more, please let me know in the group chat. The reason that we're doing this exercise is because I recall when I was on a student visa, I had to work multiple jobs across the health sector. And the reason for that was because I was paying exorbitant money for my tuition, and that's tough. And for me right now, I think about my life back in the day and where my brain was at. I was on autopilot, always on the move. And that was not a life that I wanted now. A life where whenever I was married or I had children, I still had to keep multiple jobs. Because guess what? I can't blame you if you have to do that right now. Why? Because you need money, you need to pay your bills. But I'm talking to you about a life where you don't necessarily need to work multiple jobs to earn 100K, where a life where you can only work one job and you can earn upwards of 130, 140, 150. Look, this is not a get rich quick scheme in any way, shape, or form. It
Yeah.
is real. And if you would go on, we would do some exercise that would cement this in your mind. But I want you to look at yourself. Can you see a life where you don't have to sacrifice your Good Friday because you want to make extra money, or you have to sacrifice your Christmas? I was there because I knew on Christmas Day I would be sad if I didn't go to work because that's double pay. And for me, that's not healthy. Like, that's not the life that I want. And I know there are a good number of you guys on this call today that also do not want to continue to live that life. Let me know if you only had one good job, Monday to Friday, and that's all you have to do to earn 130K. Lorraine, will that make things better for you? Mohammed, Uchenna, do you think that's going to make things better for you? Do you think that would be really, really good to just work one job? If you're even lucky like myself, you get to work from home all year round, right? If you're lucky like myself, do you think that's going to make things better for you? Let me know. Like, or do you think it's not going to make any difference in your life right now? Like, you're really comfortable and happy where you're at? Let us know in the group chat. We're going to talk about the main thing. I love that, Lorraine. Thank you. That's your dream. And that was my dream as well. Genuinely, it felt impossible. But right now, I live in that dream and more. And that's why we're here today. So it's a problem that we have been called to solve. And I'm really, really loving the interaction in the group chat. Thank you so much. Please, I want to hear more. If you currently have to trade your holidays to make more money right now, I want to know if you had a life where you could change that. Is that going to make things better for you? Like, is that going to be an ideal situation? Is that going to be a dream life? Or is that not something that you're wanting right now? No, if you want to tell us a little bit about like the problem that is tire or
Yeah, so we just want to show you. So this was an interview we did at the Australian Parliament House. So we just wanted to show you, the vision. This is what we've been called to do, to solve problems, to help people become, the solution for things that we've passed through. So I
yeah.
just want you to quickly take a listen.
Real, and I'm the co-founder.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. No, we can hear. Can you take it backwards a
And
little?
Yes.
My name is Noah, and
my name is Taya Oriowo, and I'm the co-founder of SyncSkills. And
my name is Noah, and I'm the founder of SyncSkills. So SyncSkills is an ed tech company focused on helping immigrant tribe in their lives and their career. And we do that by
ensuring that they are empowered. Just like every other thing, you need to get skilled first. Skills are important. We do it ensuring that they get the skills, the right skills that they need. We train them, upskill them, and get them into thriving jobs here in Australia.
It is important because as immigrants, when we come to Australia, beautiful country, there's a restart process for us, and so many people fall off the line, get stuck in low-skill job, even though they've had great careers back home. So we are positioned to solve that problem, that helping people reskill, upskill, so that they can contribute to high-level job, high-skill job that Australian economy actually needs.
Absolutely, and just acknowledging the fact that it can be daunting. It's hard to start anything over again. Change is, even though it's constant, it's still something that scares a lot of people. And we do this by ensuring that they've got the right level of support. More than just the training, it's the impact for us. We want Africans, we want indigenous people in this country to thrive and to know that there's something much more out there for them to look forward to. So we bring the awareness, we bring the messaging, and we also bring the support, which I think it transcends beyond anything ever.
Right. So I hope you heard that. Basically, our
My name
mission
is Taya Oriowo, and I'm the
help
co-founder
people.
of...
Sorry about that. Our mission is to help people thrive and prosper, especially African immigrant. We all go through different challenges that are not actually in the spotlight because we're the minority community. And for us, we've been like that solution to help people dream and become like, the kind of life that they dream about. That's why we were talking about you thinking about into the future. Like, what is your life going to look like? Exactly in a year from now, in 5 years from, in 10 years from, you have a design for what your life is. So I was talking about the fact that, you need to know exactly why we're qualified, but I want to share a bit about my story and why this is actually a calling, for me. So please, what is?
Hey guys, it's Noah here, and I want to officially welcome you to my world. 9 years ago, I started building community, coaching, networking with people and professionals who are looking to get into tech job, build their career back in Nigeria. But fast forward to today, I've been able to help a lot of African immigrants across the world to secure six-figure salary jobs in business analysis, project management, product owner, no-code tech career. And these are people who had fears like, I don't have prior tech experience, I'm not good at math, I'm too old, all of these limiting beliefs. And we've been able to explain the value and say, hey, these are limiting beliefs, and here is how you can overcome them. If you're somebody that is tired of your current situation and you want to get career advancement, I'll tell you a quick story. So about 13 years ago, straight out of school, I realized I need to stay in Ibafo, a developing site that barely had any light, and I didn't know how and what my next step would be. There was limited opportunity in the area, so much that the job application that I stumbled on, which advertised software testing, a no-code opportunity, was strange to me, but I gave it a go, and luckily I was invited for the interview. That was my first time of getting clarity on the true desire I had, which is to avoid coding or programming roles. As a fresh computer science student, I was not really interested in pursuing programming because I thought that was truly not my strength. As soon as I found no-code tech role, that lit me up. I committed myself to building skills in that area, and I can tell you, my life had changed forever. It wasn't obvious at that moment, but now I can tell you that that is the start of all the great things that I've been able to do. About 3 years ago, I moved to Australia, and my wife, then girlfriend, was also stuck in frustration, working in jobs that was below her skill level, and she wanted a way out. She was toiling, working back-to-back shift, barely keeping down her food before she ran to the next shift, and that was very concerning for me. So I pitched for her to get into tech. And hey, guess what? The normal reaction, I don't want to learn how to code. I think it's too complex. But I realized that I'd not done a good job in educating and understanding that it's so flexible and there are other no-code tech roles that she could explore. I spent months explaining until one day she had a light bulb moment on the job that changed everything. Somebody that was in her care spat on her face. And as a build-up and compounding effect of all the education that I've been doing. She was like, yes, I've had enough. And we went on that journey to transition, documenting every step on the things that worked, things that did not work. If you want to catch up on the rest of the story, I have a career secret newsletter link in my bio where I share process behind the scenes of not just how my wife was eventually able to transition, but other hundreds of people that I continue to help or have helped secure amazing jobs. This is for free. All you need to do is sign up for the newsletter. Hey guys, it's Noah here, and I want to
All
officially
right.
welcome you to.
Okay, so I hope that gave a bit of picture. I don't want to repeat, but it's been a journey over a decade now. I've committed to learning, to building communities, not just here in Australia, but back in Nigeria. And this was my early endeavor working with different communities in tech, especially no-code tech roles. And that has been my passion because I believe it's a very easy path for people who are trying to transition from non-technical backgrounds or non-IT background. Because if you start to say, hey, people that are in different industry to start to learn technical stuff, you see that there's a lot of drop off, and they're like, oh, this is hard, coding is hard, because it takes resilience, it takes a lot more to practice to be very good at coding, and not everybody likes coding anyway. So and that's why there's a lot of opportunity. We've exposed a lot of people to no code tech opportunities over the years, and then they've gone on to do amazing things. And because of this service, we've been to incredible, amazing places across the world, basically, I would say. This was us at the Australian Parliament House, networking, showcasing some of the work that we've been able to do over the years, building some innovative solution. For example, we've launched an app, if you've not heard, it's called Oloja Up. So it seeks to give people that are wanting to start a business a platform, to just show up and show their services or their product and put it in front of their ideal customer. And that's what we've been building for the past 2 years. And the interesting thing is that some of the people that came into our world through this program as well, contributed to building that amazing platform that is now live. We've also been to, Nigerian High Commission in Australia, and this was also the commissioner at the time, telling them about what we were doing for the community. And this is my coach. I think that if you want to go far, you need counsel of, advisors with people that have gone through the journey. Like that is the secret arc. Whatever you want to do or achieve in life, you need guidance to be able to go fast because time is your greatest asset. And you don't want to rinse and repeat and be making mistake, elongating the time to achieve whatever you want to do. So I believe that personally, everybody needs a coach. Now, this is my coach, for example, met up at Gold Coast, and it was an exciting moment. This was his book. I had him sign the book and took a picture, which was great. And these are some of the other things I do, a local church as well, in the Sunday school, and Sunday school teacher as well. And this is the team, some of the team members are Sing Skills at the Australian Parliament House. So I'm going to pass it to Tyrell to go deep on like our journey as well. And what we're sharing is so you know that we've been where you are. The journey has been incredible, but it's not without its up and downs. So Tyrell, you want to share?
That is correct. I couldn't help but really acknowledge, some of the comments in the group chat that Lorraine just mentioned. No shift work, it would be glorious. And I've got Chiweke as well, who's really, really emphasizing on the fact that he wants freedom and he wants to be able to control his time and his
Yeah.
schedule and have more time for his family, which I think is super profound. And I know there's a good number of you guys on this call as well that are also thinking, or even for you, it could be just wanting a job where you could work 6 figures. And the reason that I really resonate with you, but is because I was literally in the exact spot where you are right now. I was in that spot, like I mentioned, had moved to Australia on a student visa. And if you know anything about student visa, personally, I think it's one of the most annoying visas that you can have because it's quite limiting. It also allows you to just settle for any sort of job available to you. And for me, at that point in time, I had to as well. So I moved here, I did my education, and I started to think, okay, after my education, what next? What exactly would I, do? And would I be doing the same job that I was doing working in care, or what would my life look like? What does a life look like for Tayo when she was married? Or what would a life look like for Tayo when she starts to have children, as an example? Certainly didn't want a life where I was running after every Sunday service. I wouldn't even be able to keep my foot down because I was going to work. And because, of course, money is really important to me, I was on a regular 2 to 11 shift work. I wouldn't work in the morning because I'm Christian. I teach in church. I also sing in church. So those things are really, really important to me. I was one of those people that just wouldn't compromise my faith for work. Okay. So it was really important that I got into a job that would allow me serve God more. It was really important that I got into a job that would allow me be a present mother. It was really important for me that I got into a job that would allow me live a soft life. I know a lot of you guys want to live soft life, just make good, decent money without having to just kill yourself, quite literally, by working in really, really, tough jobs that require you to spend all the time. So that was me. And the reason that I do what I do is because I don't want you to go through the stress that I had to go through. Look, I went through a lot of stress for me to be able to get into this life that I live, for me to be able to work in a tech job, for me to be able to work in career that would actually give me an opportunity to be a present mother. And luckily for me, I was able to really be in the community, which is why I always say to people, you need to audit the people around you. You need to be sure that the people around you are living the life that you want to live, or at least dreaming or thinking of that sort of life. So, because if you're not, you're just going to keep chasing shadows. I can tell you, because they won't understand your dream. To them, it would be like, oh my God, why out there? We all work in care in Australia as immigrant. Why is she dreaming of anything different from that? They won't be able to support you. And that's why we have sessions like this to educate every single person that cares to listen, to tell you, hey, this is possible. I have done it from no tech background. I was able to move into a job that actually makes me happy, in the tech space. But you may be wondering, so Tayo, I hear all of these things, but how exactly did you do it? And how can I be out of it as well? How can I do it myself now that I am talking to you, now that I have met you? So yes, you have come into the right spot. The truth is, for you to be able to, for it's one thing to have a dream, it's one thing to work towards that dream, it's one thing to nurse that dream but never work towards it. It's another thing to be in the environment of people who can really, really help you to make that dream quicker. So if I tell you every single thing that I had to do for me to get to the dream life, you'd be shocked. And I don't want you to have to stress. I want you in a streamlined environment, in an environment where you are going to get the exact framework that I used. So that's me. And right as I moved into Australia, I delved into a lot of things. I did catering. I also worked in the health sector because I really wanted to get out of it. But I tried catering. Whilst I loved it, catering wasn't necessarily for me because of the stress. And for me, I wanted a life where I could still make the money that I wanted. Apart aside from the money, the mistake that a lot of people make is they think money is the only thing that offers you financial freedom. We all make money today, but not all of us have financial freedom. So for me, it was just more than making money. I wanted genuine financial freedom where I could control my time and decide whenever I wanted to work or not work. Those things are really, really critical to me. So what I had to do at that point in time was, I was very lucky because I had a boyfriend at the time who was already working in IT, who already did this for years. And I watched this man work from home. At that time it was very attractive, but I watched him travel all over the place, but he was still able to go with his work. And for me, I couldn't afford that because my work was physical. I had to be physically present everywhere I worked. I didn't necessarily want that life for me. I didn't want a life where I would be stuck, or I had to be physically present to add value. I genuinely feel like I had a lot more to offer, and it is simply the truth. I'm really thriving in the work that I do right now. If you can look on the right hand side, I was made pregnant with my first child. And if pregnancy taught me anything, it made me appreciate the fact that I decided to embark on this journey. So during my pregnancy, I suffered from what they call hyperosmia, and it's really, really the intense you having a magnified sense of smell. So everything that I smelled during my pregnancy. But guess what? I was in a job where I could still work. I was in a job where I didn't have to lose money because I was doing a natural thing, meaning being pregnant. On the other side of that, I thought about it. Like, if I was still doing the job that I had when I was on a student visa, I would either have to go on leave. And if I was unlucky and I was a casual worker, that means I wouldn't get paid because you're not working. So it is not about thinking about just the money alone. Look, there's a lot of things that complement or constitute and makes up for what we call financial freedom. It is you deciding today, I'm not working, and you're not scared that you're losing money. It is you deciding today, I need rest, and you're not scared that you're losing money. It is you deciding, look, it's Easter break, I'm going to take 10 days off. Like I mentioned, I currently work, as a senior business analyst in a bank, and a lot of people at work were like, oh, Taya, I'm just going to take 10 days during the Easter break. Taya, are you taking 10 days as well? I'm like, no, I'm not taking 10 days. So you want to be in a place where you're not scared of going on leave. You want to be in a career where you're not scared of just deciding to, you know what, I'm not sick, I'm not unwell, I just don't feel like working, but you're not scared of money. But for you to get there, you need skills. You need to have exactly what is required in that sector. You need to understand what that sector really, really does need. Look, you don't want to be the black person at work that doesn't know what they're doing, right? So you need to upskill, you need to get the skill. But what I'm saying is I have been exactly where you currently are today, but I have moved. But I didn't move solely because I whinged about it or I complained. I moved because I took actions. I moved because I took steps. And the lucky, like you should consider yourself super lucky for being here today because you don't have to go through all the stress that I went through. I even had to get I took a pay cut so I could learn the nuances of working in the corporate space. So I went on leave. I didn't resign from my care job, but I went on leave. And then I decided, okay, I was going to try and work in corporate Australia. If I can't get into tech straight up because I need to learn, I'm going to try and get into corporate anyhow. So I decided to work with the NDIS. I worked in corporate NDIS and I took a pay cut. Like, I paid like 70K. I was like, oh my God, this is not good money, but I knew where I was going to. I said to myself, Taya, if you can't get into the corporate tech space, you find yourself in the corporate somewhere in Australia and start to learn the nuances, start to learn their culture, start to learn what to say, start to learn emotional intelligence, start to learn stakeholder management, start to talk to people. I had to do that, took pay cut, did all of these things. I don't want you to have to go through that. I want you to go through a simple step on learning, building your marketability skills, and getting into work. So you should consider yourself absolutely lucky for being here because you're not going to have to toil like I did. You're not going to have to think about what would I do? Who is going to hold my hand? Who is going to help me? Whilst I had full support of my boyfriend at the time, it was still very tough because we were doing a lot of things all at once. And I had to self-learn. And that's tough. If you have to learn anything by yourself, that is tough. But if you're in an environment where you can learn with other people, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to ask us a quick question right now. And I want you all to be completely honest if that's something that you've done before. How many of us in this room have previously attempted transitioning into tech, or how many of us have previously done any form of program, whether you started, you didn't finish it, or whether you did some courses in the past, it didn't work for you, or whether you even went to uni to study IT, as an example. I want to know if that's you. I want to know, leave me a yes in the group chat if you've previously attempted transitioning into tech before, either through upskilling, either through going to university, either through self-learning, or just taking courses online. I want to know if you have any experience doing any of those things in the past. And I just want to know, just a simple yes will do if that's something that we've all tried to, if we've all attempted that before. Or your own category might be if you believe that for you to genuinely have a successful career in tech, you need to have prior experience. Guys, talk to me. I want this to be very interactive. If it's not, then it's really hard for us to tailor this session to your needs. So please talk to me in the group chat. Do you believe that you need prior experience in tech for you to secure a job? If that's your belief right now, I want to know if that's a yes or no. If you've tried something in the past, if you've tried to transition into tech in the past and it's failed, I would love to know as well. Just a simple yes in the group chat, guys. Let me know. Please leave me a comment. I want to know. I'm waiting, guys. Have we all attempted to transition to tech before? Either by taking some courses or something in the past and it didn't work? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What have I got? Okay, no. Amazing. All right, cool. I'm getting a lot of, okay, Tolu, yes. Okay, Moses, I have done a degree in tech. Yes, some skills and experience, no courses in the past. Okay, thank you, Abigail. So Abigail believes you need some skills and experience, but you haven't tried any courses in the past. Tolu, yes. Tolu, yes to what? No, you do not believe you need IT degree. Babatunde, okay, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Now that's really amazing. I love how diverse the thoughts are in the room. So in terms of being previously transitioned into tech, if that was you, if you said yes, I want to know what was the outcome of that? Because I want to believe you're here for a reason, right? Do you want to tell me what the outcome of that was? And how many of you believe you need prior experience in tech? Someone's mentioned yes, some skills and experience, but you haven't tried. Abigail. Okay, thank you, Abigail. That's amazing. And Moses just mentioned he's got a degree in tech as well. I'm assuming he probably studied MBIS or information technology or anything like that. Cool, cool. All right, let's go into the elephant in the room. How many of you believe that you need coding skills to transition into the tech space? Guys, tell me, do you believe that you absolutely need to learn how to code for you to have a career in tech? I want to know. All right, let's read what Chiweke has for us. So I enrolled, 2 academic sessions, last one, but couldn't follow through. I've also tried data analysis with a private instructor, but stopped midway. Okay. Couple of days, I met Tayo. Okay. And I chatted up one of my past instructors to ask him if we could continue. Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, Chimike. It does look like you've tried to do a couple of things, but you haven't been able to follow through. Can you tell me one thing that you think has always made you have that start and stop? I really want to know what's that one thing that's really caused that start and stop relationship with your journey in the tech space. I want to know, Chiweke, thank you so much for sharing that. I really do appreciate your vulnerability, guys. Thank you so much. Because again, for us, this is not I'm here to talk to our pain. We're here to talk about exactly what we need. So it is really important that we're learning from you as well, so we can tell you the exact stuff. What's going to work for Tayo, Moses might need something slightly different from that, right? Abigail might need something slightly different from that. So I really appreciate all of you guys talking to us in the group chat. Amazing. All right, my last question was, how many of you believe that you need coding skills to pivot into tech? All right, Abigail is saying yes. Okay. Babatunde, I'm assuming your yes is to coding skills. It is essential. All right, great. Can you tell me why you think that's essential though? Thank you for sharing. Okay, Olasukomi is saying no, you don't. All right, cool, amazing. I love the diverse thought. Amazing. Okay, so guys, we've just done a quick exercise that has really affirmed why you need to stay till the end. Okay, because every single thing that you've mentioned, based on your own perspective, based on your experience, we're going to be talking about them. And today is going to expose you to one thing only, which is the truth, which is the reality of things, which is the exact thing that you need that's going to get you hired. whether it is coding skills, whether it is prior experience, whether it is any of those things that I've asked you, all of those things we're going to fully talk about it. So I really encourage you to stay till the end. And I do have a promise for you. If you stay till the end, I have a free starter pack guide for you. It's going to pretty much tell you every single thing that you need start to finish for you to succeed in this space whenever you decide to embark on that journey. So please stay till the end. And please stay till the end for you to get the starter pack guide. All right. So again, as we go in, today's session is really as you guys have done that quick exercise, we now have a clearer picture of what exactly we're going to show you, which is our exact system that is going to make you the top-notch professional without even considering all of the barriers. Look, I work, right, as a senior business analyst in a bank today. Have I faced a lot of things? Yes. Have I seen a lot of really interesting things, for lack of a better word? Yes. But one thing that anyone cannot take from Tayo is the fact that Tayo is a skilled professional. So you may not like me because of my skin color of where I was born, but you cannot deny the fact that I have what you don't have, which is skills, which is a professional that is in demand. And that and more is what you can get in this environment. And that is the exact system that myself and Noah are going to be exposing you to. You cannot find this on ChatGPT. You cannot find this on Google, dare I say. You cannot find this anywhere. You only find this in an environment where we've supported people in hundreds. A lot of you guys, I can share in your pain. I know exactly where you're at, right? So let's debunk a lot of things as we go. And Noah is going to support us in debunking some of this myth as we go. We've got a lot of things that we want to open your eyes and your mind to today, that at the end of this session, you would have learned the exact strategy that made me go from no prior experience in tech. I studied professional accounting and human resource management, to no coding skills, from no prior tech background, to now working. But not just working, because that's not really the catch here, but being able to now train other people to now live in their dream job. So Noah, you want to tell us exactly what this saying is?
Yeah, basically, in my interaction with some people, they say, "Hey, I hear that tech is saturated. Everybody is doing business analyst, project management, this and that." I'm not sure if any of you have heard it before. If you have, pop in the chat. It would be great to know. But the answer to that is basically no. Like the data there, or if you go on seek.com.au, for example, you're going to find right now, it's an exercise you can do. So if you grab your phone, I know we said turn off all distraction, but it's also a working session. Yeah, Ebuka confirmed, say, I've heard that before. Now go on seek.com.au and just type business analyst, project manager, right? You're going to see thousands of jobs. I did this yesterday. I'm sure right now you're going to see over 7,000 jobs and more. If anybody does, like if you've done that, and tell me the number in the chat, that would be great. You know, so why is this important to know? So you not just business analyst, check project management, check Scrum Master, check, product owner, quality assurance analyst. These are no code tech roles where you don't need any, coding experience, as we've said earlier. So what does that tell us? Because we always want to use the data to inform our decision. They say data is life, effective. If you've got 8,000 or 7,000 chances every single day, and all you need is one job, one offer, one person to give you that opportunity, right? Would you say your odds are high? You go to the next slide, please. The odds are very high. So when we say saturated, it is from people who don't have the experience, they don't have the skills, they don't know how to actually package their skills and experience, which is what we're going to talk about, as we go through this session, to open your eyes to opportunities. You only need one yes, one offer. And if you've done that exercise, you will see that, oh, there are thousands of opportunity every single day. I'm not talking about in a month or in a year. I'm talking about every single day. God gives grace. You wake up, you're
Yeah.
going to find thousands of opportunity in this world. And why is this important? Why are we driven? So a couple of years ago, I was doing research and I saw this number. Like, I wanted to know the landscape of Africans because, like, I'm very Afrocentric. Like, people that know, like, me and anything I say, it's like African immigrant, African immigrant. It's almost like some people blame, like, oh, is it only African, and all of that. But it just comes to a place of passion. I want Africans to do well.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've seen firsthand how we are locked out of opportunities, maybe deliberately, maybe sometimes it's unconscious, and we'll talk about why it's not deliberate in some instance. But only 3% of African immigrants are in tech. But I don't know how many are working professionally, but also it's very, like, a lot of people are not working professionally to their abilities or opportunities. Now, why am I saying this? So think about it. Most of the Africans that come, at least in recent years, they come either through student visa, skill work visa, other type of visa, and they are highly educated. It starts is I'm not talking about the refugees, right? The refugees are in a different category, but I'm talking about most of us here. We've come in through a pathway where most likely you are educated. So you've got like BSc, maybe a degree, a diploma, a master's degree, and it's shocking that even if you dig into the numbers, a lot of Africans that came, that is not via refugee humanitarian visa route, are all most of them are educated. At least they have BSc degree.
Mm.
But then a very small number are working professionally. A smaller number working in tech. Now, we've established that there are a lot of opportunities. If you look at everything, the way the world is right now, AI, technology, there's nothing you're doing now that if you're not using technology to optimize, to position yourself, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity already. So you want to be in an industry that is growing, and that's why we're talking about tech. So first, tech is not saturated. Two, a lot of Africans that are educated, highly educated, are working below their skill level, right? They are working in jobs where it is truly not, it's just a job because of the circumstance, because of the start process. You've got to, like, survive most of the time, and you just find yourself working in a job that does not have leverage, where you literally have to trade your time and energy for money. Time, by definition, is life's energy. So look at how old you are now, life expectancy, right? And how many years you're going to work in between. And ask yourself, do I want to be in a job where I am not truly happy, not truly satisfied, don't have leverage, and I just want to continue to do it because it gives me one type of opportunity, which is just money.
Mm.
Plus, the way to get rich is not by working long hours. There's no leverage in that. So that has sparked our interest to say, no, there has to be a better way, especially because there are opportunities. So look at the numbers here. All of this we can check on our Tech Council Australia, for example. 1.2 million workers are needed in Australia alone. I didn't say that, and that's why I'm referencing. You can check online how many tech workers are required before 2030. 1.2 million tech workers, and Australia is falling behind. They don't have a lot of, that's why they always have to default to immigration, like get more people in, and still it's not enough, right? Australia is a big country, but the economy is not very strong. So they need people in the right industry to move the economy forward. So that's why the government is invested in skilled workers that can create the technology of the future. So another one, artificial intelligence taking the work of an analyst. Analyst by definition, somebody that applies critical thinking skills, right? You look at information from different sources and make and apply your skills, experience to be able to solve a problem. Yeah, AI cannot match all the nitty-gritty context, all of those things. You can give AI a context and it tries, but even then, if you go to ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you use, check under, they will say AI makes mistakes,
Okay.
right? AI makes mistakes. That means we're not quite there yet. There's rapid innovation, but we're not quite, it can't replace it. Think about all the context, the nuances, the creativity that human has. The question is, can AI do everything? The answer is no, right now. It's getting better, but it's not quite there yet. So it can't replace analysts. You're a problem solver. Think about your own affairs in your life today. Can you just deploy AI and say, hey, I think about all the things I want to solve in my life and solve it?
And I tell you,
Somebody can tell me one AI tool that knows what I want for breakfast and lunch and how I want to make money, how all the dreams, aspiration that I have, and can solve it for me immediately, then you can say AI has replaced humans fully. But we're not quite there yet. So even if you look at that small subset, an individual versus a company has so many problems they need to solve. So how can a one AI or agent, there's AI agent, they still cannot solve the problems that companies have. Analysts employ strategy, tools, techniques by definition to be able to solve problems, right? So we move to the next myth. Let's bust all the myth.
yeah,
So we know exactly what we're dealing with. It's impossible to get a professional job, right? We've knocked that out. Many people in Australia, even through what we do, are seeing skills. See, offers, we can't fit it in a page. They've gotten job opportunity. This year alone, we've already brought in $1 million+ in salary. So average salary we've got this year is 120K. People who have secured that, and more than 10 people, almost 10 people now have gotten jobs. In fact, one person got 2 job offer, and
yeah,
it's a very incredible story after so many months of trying and all of that, right? So we break that myth. It's not impossible. People are doing it. There's testimonials everywhere. There are real people. We have an event as well, a physical live event in Brisbane next month, and some of these people are coming. Real life, you see them, right? Because some people also, they say, yeah, we see your post on internet, but I don't know these people. Like, hey, you don't know people. You just need to believe on what is possible. You can speak to them. Come to our community. You can definitely interact with these people, right? Next slide. So it is not impossible. We'll tell you why people feel like it's impossible. It's not just because, oh, yeah, I try. Some people project a lot. So think about the interactions you have. And that's why they say you are the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. Think about it. If you audit the friends, the colleagues, the people you spend around your time with, best believe you are average of them. Your thinking, your ability to forecast what is possible, the kind of conversations you have. Now, if they put you in the midst of millionaires, tell me, will the kind of conversation you start to have change? Yes or no? Absolutely. I have seen it before. How? I showed you the coach I have, right? I showed you my coach earlier. Literally, I've got several coaches because I know that I don't know everything, and I'm humble enough to submit myself to people who have done it and them showing me, holding my hand. Now, what am I trying to say here? So my coach talks about, oh, I have a $50,000, coaching program, inner circle, they call it, mastermind. You must be doing this revenue to be able to qualify, first of all. I'm not yet qualified, but my African mind, the first time I heard it was like, what? People are paying $50,000 for a program, a 1 day, a 3 day workshop, like a 3 day mastermind workshop. That is insane. That is insane. Nobody should pay that. Why? Why was I thinking about it that way? It's the level of my thinking.
Yeah.
I had not upgraded the level of my thinking. Nobody in my circle has paid that much, right? Even 5K course, I want to get discount and everything. No, so my mind cannot handle that type of information. So when I became part of the community, I signed up for a lower tier, program. And in that, I talked to, oh God, I discussed, is this ROI? Is it worth it? Is it this? I had all those deliberation in my mind. Then, eventually I said, well, if I don't do this, I keep grinding, trying to learn all these things that I've been trying to learn for years, and I don't know what is correct. It's like you want to fly a plane, and you're saying, oh, I've tried to figure it out myself. I'll try to watch some YouTube video, do research, use AI, all of those things. Boy, there are people they are literally pilot to show you, hold your hand and show you how to, all the the intricacies, the nuances, learning, the strategy that will shortcut. Boy, I made the best decision. I paid. It was painful. Well, I paid huge amount, right? For the program, it was 2 months. I joined the community and something transformational happened to me. I had that mindset shift, like, whoa. People give update about how they are implementing the strategy in their business, and I'm making a lot of money. And I'm like, wow. And I'm seeing the kind of conversation. So it now makes sense that, wow, money is actually spiritual. I don't want, like, if you think money is just a paper thing, you're wrong. It is spiritual. Why is a brand what, for example, if you're on TikTok a lot, you see the Chinese and all of those people coming to kind of rubbish the luxury brand, right? They say, oh, you're paying for the logo, right? Why would people pay for the logo? People want to pay for association of luxury, the feeling that, I have a Louis Vuitton bag, and I have Chanel, I have all these things. Why? Sometimes the replica are almost close in quality, but the brand story, the association is why it is worth $38,000, whatever dollars. The story behind the brand, the association of luxury. So money is spiritual. How do we quantify value? How do you say this phone is worth what is worth? Right? There are many phones that does the same thing with iPhone, but the positioning, the brand also elevates beyond the fact that it's technically is good, right? It's a good phone, but there are also other equally good phones. So I just want to put that in there, that when you understand the theory of money and the way money works as well, you really appreciate what I'm saying a bit more. But what is the shocker? And why do people actually struggle to get jobs? Some of the reasons is because of the culture shock, not being aware of your environment, right? So very subtle thing happened a couple of months ago or years, like I think a year or something. I was just on a Facebook community group, and you can see if you look at this chart, I don't know if you can quickly take a moment and look at this chart and talk to me. Do you think this is a normal reaction for you as an African? Like, do you think you can relate to this, or you're like shocked, like, oh, what's this about?
I think let's read it out. So, guys, if someone asked you and said, I'm looking for someone to look after my 2 snakes, my dogs, and 3 cats because I'm traveling. And I want you to please feed them as well. As an African or as an immigrant generally, like is that a normal thing for you? Someone is asking you to look after their snakes. Like, is that shocking to you, or that's just yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm going to I'm putting my hand up. I'm offering to come look after your 2 snakes. At least I know for me, I was like, I'm sorry, what? Wait, what? Dogs and cats, I can understand, but snakes, and you can see in the comment, see, I would be happy to help. This is Flaxstone. For people that live in Queensland, that's a real suburb. So this is not a cooked up chat. And people are literally in the comments saying, yeah, I'll be happy to help. I'll, let me,
Let's know your reaction, eh? It's more than shocking.
it's dangerous.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see, right? That was absolutely my reaction, like, what? But it's absolutely normal to
Yeah,
some people, to a lot of people in this environment. Some people, like, they say they have. The other day, I think we were doing street interview. Some people's passion, exactly. It's some people's passion.
love it.
So how does this translate into, getting on being aware, navigating some of the barriers that you face? We want to talk about some 3 things get you hired. More importantly, right? 3 things get you hired. And that's the secret that people don't know. First, we tackle these 3 things by a framework that we've built at Sync Use. Now, the journey of how we build this framework is very interesting. Like, I moved to Australia just about 2.5 years ago, and again, even now, I'm
Oh, okay.
Okay.
even now, I'm still like adjusting. But when I came, I'm like, hey, I've got 10 years experience in tech. What is the Australian market, right? I've got job in US. I came to Australia, in fact, with my job with HP. I was working remotely. I've
Yeah.
worked in Europe, I've worked in Africa, 3 continents done. So Australia is the smallest of all these places. I've got all the experience. Why will it be tough for me? There's no question. I'm not gonna pick the job I want, apply the strategies, all of that. Hey, it was a shocker. So basically, just to really wrap up the story, I went through that journey, and it started from trying to apply to job, no show, nothing, nada. Didn't get any interview. Then I was troubleshooting, applying all the strategies that, oh, the strategy in the Africa job market is different than what is here. Okay, let's try what is here. Research, hours, months. Then I finally started making headway. Then I realized that, oh, one day I got a call. A recruiter called me and said, hey, Oluwagbenga. I'm like, yeah, helped them to pronounce Oluwagbenga. That's my name. She was like, she just told me, have you considered changing your name to something? No, exploring a name, English name that is easier. Or what's the short form? Things like that. We went into that story. But what I wanted to talk about from there is the fact that even subtle things like your name, using a complicated name sometimes may rob you of opportunity. I posted this on my TikTok the other day, and there were a lot of reaction, which is interesting, but that was real experience. I was not getting called. Some of my resume were going to the wrong place. They were just dumped, skipped, ignored, because culturally, they don't also want to, some of them, some of the recruiters and HR, they don't want to, like, spoil your name, right? Misspell your name, mispronounce your name, and offend you, right? So they just avoid the drama and just like, hey, I just want to go to other cities, because there are lots of options anyway. A lot of people will submit their resume. So if your resume even get to their decks, so you want to make sure you make things easier. You're an English country, like those kind of nuances are things that I had to change. So I started using easy name for my middle name, Noah, and I increased my call rate. So they were calling me more for interview, right? So after that, I got to interviews, and Of course, I will go on technical. I know everything. I've done this work for 10 years plus. Why will anything, what do you want to ask me that I can't say? Right? So I went there, I will showcase myself. I'll feel happy, like, wow, I answer all their question. But then every time I was getting, unfortunately, unfortunately, you're not culturally fit for your organization. Unfortunately, let me know if you guys have had that experience, like you've gone for an interview or you've applied, ghosting, those kind of things. Pop in the chat, right? So I was facing all of that, and it was very frustrating for me because I couldn't just understand. I reached the point of desperation in December that year when I lost my HP job. So literally, I needed to get a job now in Australia by force, right? So in saying that, some of those guys will also say, well, you didn't have experience in Australia, so we consider someone that will understand that I had experience in Australia as well. I don't know if some of you have heard some of those, objections before. So fast forward, when I got to place of desperation, I lost my HP job. Now it's real. I need to get a job. Ebuka said he had the same experience. Yeah, it's pretty common. Like a lot of people have told us as well. So I basically lost the job and I needed to get a new job. Now, my reality, this was December. People will say to get a job in December is tough. People are winding down for the holidays. It was 2 weeks to Christmas. So you can imagine, I was not going to have a good Christmas.
Mhm.
We employed all these strategies that we're going to talk about to be able to navigate that. I got interview and I got coaching. I needed to be more culturally aware because all what I was doing in those interviews, when I sat back and I was watching some of the interviews that Tayo was doing, remember, Tayo didn't even have experience like I did. But Tayo had one thing going. She understood the culture a bit more than I did at the time, right? Even now. So basically, I realized that wow, as I studied her, I was studying her passively. When she was going for her own interview, as she was transitioning, at that time and all of that, I realized how she gave context, feedback, how she answered questions with things like not just going into, oh, they ask you a question, oh, good question, thank you for that question, right? I can repeat, thank you for that question, then go into the answer. And I'll go into technical answer, responding, like I know it, right? Rather than acknowledging, giving context, drawing them into the frame, making them feel like we were in this project together. Remember what we were doing on this project, right? This was the problem. You see, we faced this issue, and this was how we were able to navigate it. And I did this and this and that, and this was the result, right? In a clear way that makes them not say, oh, then what did you do? What results did you get? If you've ever been in an interview here and they're asking you, so what was your role? And what result did you get? Like, how did it? So I realized as I watched her closely as she answered, oh, these are some of the subtle things that I was not doing. And this is why, to our point, you get hired most of the time because of your soft skills. It's not about your tech. Most people in interview are technical. They know the job. That's what we mean by technical. They know the job. They can give you basic answer about the job. However, how do you present? You've got to present with purpose. You've got to give clarity. It's not just about skills. So going back to our framework, the SEM framework, the SEM framework, we say, for you to get a job very quickly, you've got to have the skills, you've got to have relevant experience, and you got to know how to market your skills and experience. If you don't do those three things, you would always either get, unfortunately, or you get ghosted, you don't get early interviews at all, right? And when you don't get those two things, you don't get a job. Then when you see 10, 5, 7, 20 people that tell you the same experience, you start to believe those myths that, oh, Getting a professional job is not possible. I can't get a job in tech. Like all of those myths we've talked about, you will just believe it. And that's why most people that come to this country, we've heard it, they say when they come into the country, the people they meet mostly, they will say, well, welcome, all of that. It's this type of job that we do now, right? Is this type of job that makes money? Is this type of job you can get? And then they go into that rabbit hole, they get stuck in there, they are unhappy, they want to do more, but they simply cannot do it. So the secret that have been proven many times, especially for us, and by the way, you can't get this anywhere else. Trust me. So visualize it. If you've been to uni system, they're not going to tell you all of this. First, the cultural nuances, the thing blocking you out, you can't get anywhere else. Because we're like you, we know that we've gone through this, through not just our own experience, but many hundreds of people that have come through our program. We've helped them navigate all of these issues. So there's no angle you want to look at that we are having. So our program, when we talk about skills, you that don't have any background in tech, and we've promised you that you want to leverage your everyday skills. Now, the nature of all these jobs that we've displayed here, business analyst, scrum master, product owner, project manager, allows you to use your everyday skills like communication, active listening, problem solving, all of those kind of skills that you already, data analysis. People may think data analysis is like the tools, SQL, this and that. Data analysis is simple. How you make decisions about your spending as well. How much do I have in my account? What should I be spending my money on? You've also analyzed data, right? Your account balance is also data. So data analysis can be that simple or be that complex. And people focus on the complex part of SQL and all of that. But your everyday skills get you in the door here when you have the right strategy, right? So business analyst is focused on, if you think about the role of a business analyst, is like you have an event, you want to do a wedding or a birthday party, and somebody is asking you, okay, how much budget do you have for this event? What type of event do you want this to look like? What type of food? How many people are you expecting? Right? What is the theme of the event? So all of those kind of questions are called requirement. A business analyst would ask you, right, in the context of an event planner, would be the one questioning you, asking you those information. Why? Because the closer you get to that answer, the better that event will look like that, meaning achieving the goal of the event. If you contrast it and just say, hey, event planner, help me with this wedding event, plan it, do whatever you like, right? If that's all you give your event planner, I am sure it will be a disaster because event planner does not have any information about what a dream event will look like for you. How many people? What's your budget? So organization need people who are analysts to analyze the business. So what problem do we need to solve now to get more customer or to improve our services or our product? That is the job of a business, and they do that by questioning, asking the right questions. You see why communication is important, documentation, active listening. So these are your everyday skills, similar to Scrum Master. Scrum Master is like the person organizing all the vendors in that same analogy, organizing them so that they come on time. So we don't get food after the event is over, right? Or we don't bring decor on the day of the event and we're trying to decorate the hall when the event has started. So Scrum Master is like the orchestra, making sure everybody in the team, they are doing their part to deliver on the outcome, right? Just like project managers as well, product owner. So these are roles that you can use your everyday skills and learn the technical nuance of the roles using the right strategy, which is what we do. that we want to maximize your chances. That's why we focus on giving you the base framework for learning these skills. You get 4 in 1, basic 4, 5 in 1. By the time you're done with our program, for example, you would have built skills in this area. Now, if you did the exercise I mentioned earlier, what will you do? What will you see? Thousands of opportunities every single day. And remember what we said, if you have the skills, and next, you've got the experience, right? You got the experience, and you know how to package your skills and experience, market it. When we say market it, you are also a product, right? See, let's talk about the experience. People also mistake what experience is. Experience is a demonstration that you can apply these skills that you have. How many times have you done? That's why there's a difference between an intern and someone that has 5 years, 6 years experience. What's the difference? What's the difference? You can pop it in the chat. What is the difference between someone that is an intern in a particular skill set? And so now, question to you. Yeah? For example, if somebody was going for a surgery and the surgeon says, welcome, thank you so much, I'm your surgeon today. By the way, I pray we don't go for surgery. But I'm just saying, my church mind now, we will not go for surgery, just an analogy, right? So somebody is going for surgery and doctor welcomes you and say, hey, this is my first time for this surgery. So I'm really excited to meet you. What will your reaction be? Versus if this person says, oh yeah, I've done this like I can't even remember, a lot of times, like 100 times over. So pretty much I've got a lot of experience. Who will you trust with that procedure? Can you put it in the chat, please? All right? Who are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust, team? I need engagement, please. Yeah, the difference is how often you have done the task. Yeah, that is experience, right? So basically, you will trust the person that has more experience. Yes, Onyeka, right? Thanks. So you trust people because experience matters a lot. Organization wants you to prove that you have experience, outcomes, result, because they want to provide value for their customer. And most times, the roles that are entry level, interns, they're not a lot. And that's why people that tell you, oh, just go and get the entry level job, get the intern job, they are part of the problem, because competition is higher at the bottom for limited opportunity. If you look at every organization, they don't always have a lot of internship positions. If the organization have 500 staff, the interns cannot be more than 20, 30. Others have to be experienced, a serious organization. I'm not talking about just, maybe they are just doing an internship only program. They can get people in bulk, right? But in an organization, the internship entry level roles are just small. They are just there are not a lot of opportunities there because organizations are banking on experience. So when you position your skills for entry level, for intern opportunity, because you're thinking, let me just start from there, you're literally locking yourself out for 2 reasons. I've mentioned one. Secondly, think about the graduate university. Think about all the other people as well that you're thinking your headspace. So you'll be competing with the freshers, with people like you thinking about that have gotten that advice. They want to pursue entry level roles, right? So there is lots of competition for small opportunity, and you get, if you're lucky, yeah. But even if you're lucky and get the job, you get paid how much? Those roles don't pay you a lot, right? So now maybe they pay you 60K if you're lucky, or 50K. Now you're doing the job, you're nappy because you're working the hardest as an entry level, because everybody's like, oh, do this, do this, do this. Plus you're earning the lowest, plus now you have to now take maybe extra shift to complement your life. So it's like lose, 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 lose. Even if you're lucky you get the job, it's still a lose situation because you're unhappy. The money is not stacking up. And that's why you're like, yeah, this is very exhausting. You're just going to be burning out. That's why I was saying position your experience in the correct place. So I'm going to pass it to Ty to talk about marketing. Why is it important to market? It's also about positioning. Why should you position your skills correctly? We don't do that. I can tell you for a fact. This is some people that have experience and skills in whatever area, they don't know how to market it, especially in this environment. I suffered from that as well. I've shared the story. So Taya's going to talk about that.
Amazing. And thank you so much again for your participation in the group chat. I'm really learning a lot from you all as well, as you tell us. So just following on from our SEM framework, which is really what exactly do I need to become hireable, for lack of a better word? What truly gets you hired? And I want you to write this down. The best presenters win in an interview. The people that can market their skills win in an interview. It's not about what you know or don't know. It's about how you present the things that you know and don't know. Okay. So interviews are not looking for the perfect candidate. As a matter of fact, if you're in Brisbane and you have time on the 17th of May, I want you to attend our physical event. I've got hiring managers coming through. They're going to tell you exactly what they think about when they have you in that room. Now, I've been a part of hiring process as well in the bank and the company that I run here in Australia as well. And one thing is constant. Recruiters do not actually want you to know everything. They don't care about who knows everything. They care about the people that come into the room and own the room. The reason you and I will probably see something online and just be like, oh, I just said this man talk about this thing, and you buy it. You may not even need it, but you love the message. You love how the person has presented the product to you. Some women here, you see her online, someone is telling you, you can, this wig is for people that don't know how to lay their hair. If you buy this wig, you can lay your hair in 5 minutes. Instantly, it is attractive to you. What? What do you mean I can quickly put my wig on in 5 minutes? You're happy. They tell you don't even need to put glue on it. You don't need to do anything. It's like mind-blowing. It makes you excited. That may not even necessarily be the case, but they've presented it in a way that the wig looks very simple for you to wear. It looks very accessible. You can just do it in less than 5 minutes. It looks like, oh, this is possible. This will finally put an end to all my trouble. What am I trying to say? If you have skills, which we've spoken about skills and experience, right? And experience is really the number of times you've done something and how you can present it. Now, you can have those two things. If you lack the marketing side of things, no one's going to give you the job. No one's going to offer you an employment, okay? So I know I was sharing a story. When I was transitioning into tech, I definitely did not have all the answers to the question they asked me in an interview. But one thing that I had was I knew exactly how to answer difficult questions without, some of you you attend interviews, they ask you one question to break the ice and you're just shaking. You're saying, please repeat the question, please rephrase the question, please reword the question. They reword, rephrase. You're still saying, well, you're looking in the ceiling. The moment you start to look in the ceiling, they will tell you, they'll be very nice to you and tell you, oh, no, it's okay, Moses, we're just going to move on to the next question. Or the moment you start to stutter, you start to shake, or you frown your face. Some people will even attend interviews frowning. I'm like, are you fighting? Smile small. Those things are very, very important. So marketing your skills, getting noticed in an interview, you becoming irresistible in an interview takes practice. You need practice. Of course, you need to know what you're doing. But then again, Noah shared his experience. Noah is very skilled and very technical. If you've done something for more than a decade, you're an expert already. He's done it. But even he did not have all of the skills required, to market the skills that he has. So he was saying all of these things, but it was not being a marketer. It was not being a presenter. I was just going there, guys, I've done this for 10 years. What else do you want? But that's not enough in this market. That is not enough in this market. I recall my program manager, she interviewed someone and she said, oh, Taya, that was a really great session. The guy is very technical. He knows exactly, I think it's going to be the perfect technical candidate but we're looking for. But I don't think I could work with him. In my mind, I'm like, I'm sorry, like, what do you mean? Like, you just told me this person is very technical and they're good and they have all of the other skills. She's like, yeah, I just feel like there's that cultural fit that is missing. And they look like if I catch them in the coffee room, we wouldn't be able to have a chat. And they just look like they're going to lack like stakeholder management skills. So that's to tell you something. Your skills, your experience, and your ability to market those things are very, very important. And those are the things that we focus on. This is not just another program where they just dump technical on you. That is not what we do here. That is, as a matter of fact, far away from what we do here. If you talk to anyone who has come onto this program before, they will tell you it is end to end. Because I have a lived-in experience. Noah's got a lived-in experience. I don't want you to go through some of the things that I went through. I don't also want you to go through some of the things that Noah went through. Super skilled, but he lacked the ability to market his skills. That wouldn't be your story because you're lucky that you're here today. Now, delving into everything you would have access to. If you do this, if you say, Tayom, I want to work with you. I want you to hold my hand. Noah, hold my hand while I go on this journey of transformation. But the big question is, what exactly would my journey look like? For me to be able to secure this 6-figure job, for me to be able to have that flexibility that I want as a father, as a mother, as a whatever you are, for you to be able to work in career that do not require you to be physically present all the time, what do I need? More importantly, for me to understand how to acquire the skills, how to have the experience and how to market it, what do I need? The first thing that you would have enormous access to if you were to come on board with us, and I want you to pen this down wherever you are. Let's do the count, okay? Number one is you're going to have access to instructor-led training. What do I mean by that? This is not a recorded session that just go and watch if you want. I mean, if you want that, we're having, but we pride in the fact that I get to see you. The same way I'm getting you to answer questions in this webinar. If it was in class, I won't move on until you answer the question because I want to know what you're thinking, which is why it is an apprenticeship style of learning. It is instructor-led. And I'm going to quickly play a snippet from the class for us, just for you to have an idea of what goes on in the class. Say maybe as an investor, the investor says that they're not giving us funds anymore. Will that impact our business? Yes. Yeah. They have influence over the things that we do. So it is important that I manage them properly. If I'm unable to do something, I need to communicate. If something is different from what the expectation is, I also need to communicate. I need to let them know. So it's very, very critical. I hope that we all pen down who a stakeholder is. So that helps you to not just think about them as the people that you talk to. You may not even talk to them. You may never talk to the CEO of your company, but are they a stakeholder? Do they have influence over what happens in that company? Yes. They do. So always remember interest, impact, and influence. Okay, so that's just a snippet of what happens in the class. Can you see how people are responding? Can you see how we're trying to get feedback? Because it is not Netflix. You don't come in our world to watch us at Netflix. It's an interactive session. And these are really practical things that will get you from a newbie or a novice into becoming a confident business analyst in 3 months. And that's the first thing ever, because we start from, I don't want you to be the amateur hour. Now, the second side of... Say maybe as an investor, they put that. And the second side of things that you get an opportunity to is because we want you to start to build those reps as you go. You get an opportunity to work on what we call project. This is not like university assignment where I'm going to be grading you. Oh, Moses, you had 6 out of 10. Oh, Chineke, it's 7 out of 10. We're going to be testing you the things that you'd be doing on the job. What exactly happens on the job? So you get to work on real life projects, everything with a timeline and a deadline as well. Because when you start working, I want you to start to build those skills of, if I say I'm going to deliver a task by close of business on Tuesday, I deliver it before. And if something happens, somehow, you're unable to deliver it, I also want you to know that you need to send a message to let them know that, hey, something's come up, this is it, but I'm going to deliver it on this day. All of these things, no one's going to teach you. The job won't start to teach you and say, oh, but you didn't tell us, right? And if you've never worked in a professional setting before, you also may not know. So as part of this program, you would get to work on real life projects. You would also be building all of those other soft skills on the side for you to learn how to handle difficult situations. You won't work alone, you work with people as well. You work with your project team. The same thing that happens on the job. So pretty much what we simulate is what happens on the job. What do I do on the job? And I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. Just a snippet, guys. Please stay with me.
Done, etc. So yeah, but it's been a nice learning curve, because when I see job description, I go back and research about what I don't know, and with that I get to learn more.
Great.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about the results of all of this hard work. So in the last couple of weeks that you've been doing this, what's the results like? What would you say the result has been?
Honestly, the result has been good. I've been getting calls. I started application, I think, like maybe last week, Saturday. Oh, sorry, the previous.
By the way, this lady talking, she's about a year plus on her job now. She's already working. All of the people on this call, literally, except for the Sync Skills team, are already working. Every single one of them. And some of you guys probably know them, or you probably seen their story on our pages. But what I'm trying to say is every single of our sessions are following a process. What would you need on the job? What exactly is required on the job? And number 3, if you're following me, is you're going to have access to instructor-led presentations. So it is one path to do the assessment, but how do you know that you've done the right thing, right? How do you know that you followed the right thing? How would Onyeka know that the assessment that he has done is correct? We give you verbal feedback on how you can make it better. And again, guys, some of you, you've never presented before. Some of you, you've never even shared a screen before. As a result of this training, you would have acquired all of these skills. I've seen a lot of people say, Tayo, before now, I didn't think I had the power in me to present. I don't want you to start to learn all of these things on the job. You start to learn it during the program. So how to communicate effectively, how to talk to a slide without reading the slide. Some people, they don't present this slide, they will just read everything rather than present. There's a difference between reading a slide out to people and presenting the slide, presenting your information. And one thing you should know is, if you're presenting a slide, never ever just read out the slide verbatim. It makes you look tacky, and it makes you look like you don't know what you're saying. It's boring. They will just tell you, do you think I'm not visually impaired? I can see this slide, so why are you reading it out to me? You would learn all of these things, how to communicate effectively, how to think critically, how to work in groups, and more importantly, how to be confident. Confident people, they know how to win. In fact, they are one of the biggest winners in life, because no situation is difficult. Even if they don't know something, they tell you, oh, I'm not too sure about what you're saying. They don't start to shake and shiver as if the world is coming to an end. Guess what? No one knows everything, but we all have different strategies of handling difficult situations. Of course, you also get detailed feedback on how exactly to improve what you've learned. And that's our number 4. So this and more is everything you get when you enroll.
Let's get started then. Thank you.
So I'm not going to bore us with a video, but you guys get my point. Again, in terms of working in projects, and some say, oh, I've actually never worked in a team before. I'm an introvert. Some people say, I'm an introvert. I don't know how to work with other people. Don't worry about that. You're going to do all of these things in a group. You're going to learn how to work independently as a solo person. You're also going to learn how to work in a group. We have a channel called Slack channel, simulating again what happens in the experience. So similar to in the corporate space, they use Teams, they use Slack and all of those things. You start to get used to these things. So what you're going to be doing on the job, how you're going to be working with other team members, how you're going to communicate with them, you start to learn every single thing right from this program. And you also have support to lean on. Oh my goodness, this particular one, it is priceless because it has gotten massive, massive feedback. The lady that was sharing her testimony in the video that I shared that said she lodged an interview, she made a friend on the program. And guess what? They both got a job like 2 weeks interval because they always work together. She said she found a sister in that person, and a lot of other people as well. Finding another, they call themselves like family members, community. They create their own group. So a shoulder to lean on. You're not going to be doing any of these things on your own. And if you're still following me, which I hope you are, is number 6. Remember how we said you might be good, but if you don't have a strategy to go to if we call it our go-to-market strategy, if you don't have a strategy to go to market, it's a joke. If you're just using one resume for 10 jobs, you're joking. You're not ready. If you don't have a strong cover letter, you're not ready. All of these things, we have them ready to go for you to use with lots of different tools that would help you to beat what we call the applicant tracking system. If you've ever heard of the applicant tracking system, leave me a comment in the group chat. So you have access to this complete job application kit. And that would ensure that when you're applying to interview, you are targeting the right job with the right material. Imagine if you have, say you've got siblings right now, you and your siblings, even though you've come from the same parent, you like different things. You would agree with me. So the way mommy treats or daddy treats sibling A is not the same way they would treat sibling B because we have differences. It's the same thing with job applications. Job applications, they want different things. And if your resume is not telling them what they want, you will get, unfortunately, very quickly. So we teach you how to make sure your resume is talking about what those recruiters want and what they're looking for, right? So again, because that is not enough, guys, it is not enough to even have a good resume. Guess what makes that even more? Because when they call you and they say, Moses, could you tell me a little bit about yourself? And you start to stutter, they'll move on. They won't call you back. They won't call you back. And also remember, you haven't really done this before. So for you to beat the people who have done this, you need coaching. You need mock interview sessions. We've gotten comments saying, our mock interview sessions are even harder than real interviews, which is good because that means I've prepared you for the worst. So when you go out there, you're talking like a pro. There are some questions that if you come into our world, you don't need to worry about. If they ask you, tell me about yourself, you should be able to say it in your sleep. Structure, not my name is Moses. I came from Nigeria in 2021. And I also studied Masters of Business Information System. I'm a dad of 2, all of those. No one cares about that. No one cares about that. You need to go structure by structure, your years of experience, what sort of project have you worked on, which domains have you worked in. All of those things we would give it to you because it's step by step and you would be able to flow naturally. If a recruiter asks you, tell me about yourself, and you're starting from, well, I relocated to Australia in the year 2018, and you just go, it is not relevant. It is not relevant to them. And if you start to move from A to K, back to B to Z, then there's no structure. You lose them. Remember, we already have an accent. So it's already bad enough that in the way that we speak to them, some of them may even struggle in understanding or comprehending what you're saying. So if you're now making it worse by not having structure, you can kiss that offer goodbye. It's the same thing with industry project banks. Acknowledging that you don't have massive experience, you haven't done a lot of this, you would have access to different types of projects that you can talk about. in an interview. But here's the catch, guys. All of these things are facilitated job sessions. I'm not going to just send you a template saying, go and do this. There's a session that is dedicated to reviewing it. Oh, Moses or Chinwe, you've done your resume. I want to look at it. Oh, you've done your project. I want to look at it. I want to review. Defend this thing the same way you would defend it to a recruiter. Let's talk about it together. So it is not just they send you template and go. It is I want to work with you. I want to see where your thought process is. What have you done in Nigeria? What are some of the skills that we can transfer that is going to be relevant in this space? Very, very critical. All of these things are priceless. We run what we call the 10-day challenge. Look, this 10-day challenge, this is after you're done with your program. You would run a 10-day challenge to do your elevator pitch as well as your project, meaning I want you to every single day, 3 times a day, practice your elevator pitch. Practice breeds perfection. If you think about, some of you on this call, if you think about the first time you ever drove a car, I'm sure you're probably shaking. If anybody is talking, tell them, keep quiet, please, I want to focus. Because you're just doing it for the first time and you're scared. You don't want to kill people on the road. You also don't want to kill yourself, right? But fast forward to like 5 to some people, 6 months, a year, 2 years after they approve. In fact, they will play music and be chewing gum and be talking to people and be driving. You don't need to think about where's the brake, where's the throttle. You know where it is. That has happened because of the continuous effort that you've put into learning how to drive. It's the same thing we simulate with this elevator pitch challenge. Anything that you do consistently, deliberately, every single time, it stays in your head. Your brain starts to register. It's the way the brain has been designed. Your brain is designed to keep and store information. The more you feed it, the more the brain stores it. So we run that with you. So you never have to guess. You never have to guess. You also come to group mock interview sessions. We have one-on-one mock interview session, meaning if you have an ad hoc interview and you just want support, we have it as well. So it is not just the group interview session is on Mondays and Tuesdays, but you have an interview and you want extra support. We still give that to you. Okay? So everything for us is practical. Everything I want to think about is practical. And the biggest catch, which is one of the biggest problems ever, is being able to work or to have that real work experience within an actual company, which is something that you probably would not get anywhere. You would get an opportunity to work with our sister company called Jason Solutions. Some people decide they just want to focus on interview prep. They don't want to do internship. Some people decide to do internship and interview prep together. So you would have the choice. But one thing is, it is available for you. So you get to work in an Australian company. The company currently building Oloja Hub. Oloja Hub, we took it to the Australia Parliament House in 2024 to go and showcase it to parliamentarians. Got a lot of really, really good feedback. And this is a product that was co-built by some of our interns and of course the experts. So, right. So for you, you would also get an opportunity to claim up to 2 years of work experience. But your 2 years of work experience, we calculate it based on all of the hours that you spend studying, all of the hours that you spend reading, all of the hours that you spend attending interview prep. If you don't attend any of the sessions, I cannot give you a reference check because then I don't know what you're capable of doing. So whilst you get access to these things, right, as a result of you making an investment and coming on board, if you don't do your part, I can't give you. Your part meaning committing to the program, showing up, doing your assessment, doing your interview prep, participating in the challenge. Those are the things we calculate all of the hours, and that gives us up to 2 years of experience. So you can kill or you can put the worry of, oh, I don't have Australian work experience. Who is going to do reference check for me? All of those things gone. As you can see, number 15, you get access to verified reference checks. I have lost count of how many reference checks we've done, even just this year alone. If you don't know what reference checks are, in Australia, if you don't pass a reference check, you're not getting the job, no matter how good you are. Okay? So for you, you don't need to worry about where do I get reference checks from. This, we go above and beyond to make it happen. whether it is through phone call, whether it is through texting, whatever mode the organization wants, we provide you with valid reference checks based on how you've presented. So remember, you also need to show up. You need to show up to the program. I need to see that you are very, very serious about the work. All right, guys, let me play one video for us about one of our students that got a job with the Australian Capital Territory in
I got a job with the city government.
Wow.
Yeah. I got a job with the city government.
Wow.
Yeah.
ACT government.
Yes, as a data analyst.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. When was that today?
I got it last week.
Wow. Have you started?
Yeah, I started this week. And I was like, I must call you this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been so busy. I was going to follow up.
All right.
Wow, so talk to me. How are you feeling? Our new business analyst. You resume next week, right?
Yeah, next week, Monday. This time next week now.
Be at work.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling? Talk to me.
Oh, well. I'm, of course, very, very happy and excited.
Yeah.
Finally. After it seems like an eternity.
Yeah.
So this is actually possible to do. So I was able to get that. And then the next feeling is like, okay, so what's not going to happen?
So if you guys heard the comment she made, like, this is actually possible. She also had the doubt, is this possible? By the way, the lady talking, she's on our Instagram if you want to check the full story out. She studied Masters of Business Information System here in Australia, but she was unable to even attend an interview. She didn't even have the courage to even apply to jobs because she didn't have the confidence. Because university don't prepare you for a job. They just prepare you for the certificate, get a certificate and go. We, on the other hand, I prepare you for what happens on the job, what you can see on the job, right? And still talking about everything that you get if you do decide to invest in yourself and come into transformation is you get lifetime on the job support. Now, we've done all the merry, you are now a business analyst or a scrum master or a product owner. It is time to deliver. You will still get help after you're hired. So pretty much from start to finish, you are never alone on this journey. You're never going to be by yourself at any point in time. You would always have someone holding your hand. And if you want to be honest, do this side by side with what university is offering you. It is not a match. It is simply not a match. We can both agree. University doesn't offer you quarter of this because their focus is different.
Wow, so talk to me. How are you feeling?
I'm going to move on to the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So again, and as I finish up in terms of what you get unlimited access to instructors. Like I said, we don't talk on WhatsApp or we don't just talk via email. We have an official channel called Slack. So on Slack, you have 24 hours access. Pretty much if you have a question or you want to get clarity or you're just confused about something, you always have people that would be there to address your concerns. You always have people that would be there to give you and to follow you through like everything that you want, right? So following on, just move that. Okay.
Wow, so talk to me. How are you?
Let's move down. So in terms of the total value of what this is, if you want to be honest, I want you to pop in the group chat what you think that's worth to you, right? So as it is, the total value is, in fact, 11K plus. That's the total value of every single thing from 1 to 17 offers that you're going to be getting if you decide, I want to invest into what's going to get me a 6-figure job, what's going to ensure that I can really, really secure my spot in the tech space here in Australia. But because you're here today, and our mission is very clear, is to literally get you into a flexible working arrangement, is to get you into jobs that would provide you with the freedom that you want, a job that allows you to focus on other stuff rather than you just spending your time. More importantly, a job that pays you, write this down. You want a job that pays you based on the value that you deliver, not based on the hours or the time that you spend there. That is what you want to be looking for. You don't want a job that pays, how many hours? 5. Okay, good. You get paid for 5 hours. You want a job, I don't care about the number of hours, but the value that you've provided. I do not work 9 to 5 every single day because no one does that. Value on some days could be a 15-minute session, and I've given them a clear pathway of what they need to do. And value some days could be 5 hours, but no one cares about the hours. We're looking solely at the value, the artifact, the deliverables that I've churned out. And that's what I get compensated for. And that's kind of like where you want to start to pivot into as a professional here in Australia. Noting that that is even one part of the puzzle. But because, again, you're here today, I'm really excited. We have all stayed till the end, which is really, 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 really impressive. You get a special offer, okay? You get a special offer. Come onto the program. If you're thinking or you're sitting on the fence, guys, I want to hear your feedback, where your mind is at right now in terms of the offering, and how you if you've got any questions so far as we move into other stuff. Noah, you want to add anything so far?
Yeah, basically. So we are talking about all the operating system framework tools, techniques that would help you guarantee you, 120,000 jobs. We're really rebuilding your skills, and we've explained how you can leverage your everyday skills to tap into opportunities of the future. That is incredible. I always say to people, like, this is worth more than anything, not even buying a house or buying a car, because when you increase your value, then you can go do all of those things, because you begin to increase your value in the marketplace. Your marketplace will reward you for that, and then amazing things happen on from there. It's not a skill that you just learn because you want to be a business analyst. There's a lot of life skills, high opening opportunities for you. We've seen people come on our program and said, you know what, I'm just going to go start my business, right? Because they've got that moment, like, oh, actually, my skill is better suited to start a business, because a business analyst sees problems, right? Sees opportunity to improve. And they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go. And they have started. I've got videos, talking to people like that who had that moment and are like, well, I've started my NDIS business, or whatever business that they want to do, and they're thriving, which is amazing. So let's talk about some of the issues and barriers of, if you can go to the next slide, like university, for example. For me personally, I've spent over $100,000 just in the last 3 years on universities. So first, I went to University of Hull in the UK, and cost of living and everything, I would have spent more than £35,000 really to get my master's degree. And when you look at that, you ask yourself, like, do I really have the skills? Do I have the experience to be able to command the market, right? To get a job? The answer is no. The things they taught me was generalist in nature, not relevant, outdated. And if somebody were here, maybe you've done IT related degree, tell me how you're feeling. So it didn't stop there, because the journey of how I even moved to Australia is interesting. I'm not going to go there because of time. We want to respect your time. But I came on the student visa initially as well. And I came to Torrent University. And the university charge, you can see on the screen, for masters, right? $67,000. It's mind-blowing, because that's the interest that they have. And if you look at all the offer we've been talking about, you need to ask yourself, maybe you're doing any IT course or any course really, do they really provide any support for you to the level of what we're talking about here? The answer is no. You just do a bunch of, I've been through the system as well, so I know how it works, right? It's just coursework, register, do the work, do assessment, submit, whether you know the skills or not, that's it. And there's a divergence between what the university is teaching and what the industry wants. No practicality there, no application there. You're just going to get stuck after the degree and you're asking what next, and we get back to this point. Now, next one. So, see, it's a no-brainer. Look at all the courses, look at how much they charge. There's no comparison. The reason we do this is because of our passion to help people. It fuels our energy when, over the years, we've seen people move from zero experience in tech into amazing opportunity. And I'm not talking about, I have the conviction because we see result, right? Every other week, every month, there are people getting job, changing their lives. So I'm telling you based on fact. So go to the next slide. You see the price, it's out there, it's online, check it out. You know that it's a no-brainer. You are not the problem, and I leave you. You don't need to do anything with us, right? If you don't want to join our program, that's fine. But we hope that you understand the system that we're talking about. You are not the problem. I always want you to understand that. It is not about the fact that, oh, you're not smart enough, you're not skilled enough. Strategy beats effort, right? So if you need strategy, you're not the problem, it's the system that you're using that is the problem to get a job. And we've talked about some of the shocks. So if you go to the next one, we'll talk about some of the things you will begin to see. It's not because you're not smart, that's why you're not getting opportunity. It's the wrong approach, the wrong strategy, right? So if you go, you see so many testimonials that people that have come on board and changed their life. Maybe you know some of them, right? This is Jim, this is Lola, these are so many messages, right? If you go, you see more. Now, if I ask you, how many of you have signed up to an online course before? And did you get value from it? Like any online program before? Because of time, I can't wait for a response. The issue with that is when you do online course, you see some of these issues, and we put data here so that it's not, oh, Noah saying or Tayo saying, this is fact. Online courses don't work for the transformation. We want to transform an entire, it's incredible amount of work to take somebody from a no-code opportunity. What we're telling you here, no experience, no background in tech, just come with your passion to want to learn, relearn and unlearn, and you get opportunity. The question is, how many people actually finish online courses? You can't. There's a very small number. Only 3 to 5% of people finish an online course. And when you finish it, even there's still issues with the online course program because there's no application. It's more of information. They just give you a lot of information. There's no feedback there to say, hey, I'm not quite sure what this is about, or you get an assessment done and somebody reviews it at an expert level for you. So experience is not needed. There are people, if you go on our profile, our Instagram, you see people, accounting, care work, all of those things, right? They've transitioned to tech using our framework. This is an offer. You can see technical business analyst role. You can see Queensland government. See the name for transparency. It's there. These are people in our community. Look at the timeline. Many, many more opportunities for people, to transform their life. It's a transformation. I remember interviewing one of our, amazing person that got a job, and he was like, wow, my life has changed. Literally. Okay, this is the interview. Just
right, welcome. Who do I have here? What's your name? Oluwaseun, okay. Thank you for doing this, by the way. So something great happened. Someone told me that something amazing happened to you. Are you feeling that? You want to tell people what's happening? It's a wonderful feeling. Finally, I would say it's my turn. Yeah. I've been supporting people, I've been praying as well, but finally,
secured my own business analyst role. Wow. It's a wonderful journey. So wow. so happy.
I know I can feel the vibration in your, but I know when you were talking to Tyra as well, like, wow, this is great. Did you see the actual salary? You don't need to say the figure. Like, did you notice that immediately, or you were like so happy, like, oh, I'm even in this field in the first instance?
Oh, well, it's just transitioning into tech. So that was the wow moment.
Yeah.
And actually, when that letter landed, it was like, oh, wow, seeing the details and everything. Yeah. And then I actually saw the figure. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. That looks like almost double my current salary. I was like, oh, wow, wow. So it was a wow moment for me.
I know.
All right, so you can see, that straight from some of the people's mouth, an amazing testimony. We can go on all day talking about testimonials, but we don't have all day, unfortunately. Now, if this interests you, you want to take more opportunity, you want to, speak to somebody, maybe you have a bit of concern we've not talked about today, we can go on and on because we have a lot, really. You can't do it alone, right? We're saying it because it will take you months, years to figure it out. We have figured it out, like literally working with so many people and getting results for people. You can decide, you have option. You can try to do it alone and see how you get with that. You watch videos, you research, use AI and all of that, and see how the journey is. And you come back to some of the things that we've talked about. That means you would have wasted a lot of time trying to do try and error. They say a smart man learns from their mistake, but a wise man learns from the mistake of others. There's wisdom in that. So if you want to learn from our framework that has helped so many people transform their life, we would like to have you on board. But in saying that, let's go and talk about a lot more. I want you to know that there's a lot more that we have packed in stock for you, but we can't get into that today. But if you have any question, you can reach out to us. There's more testimonials, so many people in our community, like almost everybody here. I think only one person does not have a job at this time in tech, just in this screen like alone. So there's a lot of testimonials we can't go into because of time, and there's a lot more we can talk about. But yeah, we would like to put a pause here today. We don't want to respect your time. Thank you so much. If you want to take us on the offer, if you go back, Tayo, let's recap that offer, right? So basically, if we think about it, what we're offering you and what the university charges is like paying for ice cream. The summary of the offer is a no-brainer. And I think you would, if you think about it critically, you will be able to, you agree with us. If you can just,
and etc.
Yeah, just turn off the slide for a bit and then refer. So basically, we want to just recap the offer and we'll put it, I'll put it,
So
if you've got a question for us, any question, put it while we get into do a recap of the offer so you know exactly why those things are important for you. Slide 55 there.
Okay.
All right. So if you've got a question we've not gotten into, you really want, just ask us. There's nothing really that you may be facing right now in terms of this that we've not in some way dealt with before. But if you've got a question that you want us to get to, we quickly take 2 minutes to recap it, right? But I'll share, please. If you have it, pop it on. Tyra, I'll share, please. Can you hear me? All right, great. So yeah, so basically you can see everything in a picture here, right? So we have that live instructor-led session, very practical session where we'll be going and be building the skills together every week for 12 weeks. Real project, because one thing is people don't have real projects where you're transitioning and you get some advice, oh, go and check go and cook up some project that you can't really connect to, because project is really something you've worked on. So we progressively work on real projects in your assessment in class, so that you have, real things to talk about during your interview, right? And then instructor-led soft skill. Taya has talked about why this is important. Feedback on assessment, job application toolkit, personalized mock interview coaching, and you look at all the value. Think about it. Industry project bank. So if you go to an interview and you don't have like 90% knowledge of the questions they're going to ask you, you're not going to be able to get that job. Because for us as African, we must go 120%, not even 100%. Because if you look at, if an Aussie performs at 100% and you perform at 100%, you're not going to get that job still. So we have to go 120%. I always say to our student, 120% to get that opportunity, because you're simply not going to be able to compete with them if they are equally good. But your competence can beat the bias, can beat the system when you're too good, because value is more important to the business at the end of the day. But when you are positioned in a place where they have to make a choice between two good people, they will say culturally, the Aussie is better fit because they understand the culture, the terrain. So you will not get the opportunity, right? So that's how some of the intricacies that we teach you to be able to beat. Yeah. Lifetime job support, all of those things. Who even promises somebody lifetime? That's what we do. It's insane, right? We've had conversation like this is in no way profitable, but we do it because the more results we get for people, then the more we can shine, and that's what is important to us, right? So elevator pitch, so everything in summary here. Valid reference check, all the things that you need to get a job. Now, you may have thought for you to get a job, you just need training and you just need interview support and resume before. Trust me, yes, some of you may need that, but even like in saying that, what happens when you don't get the job in that first interview? Who gives you feedback, and help you troubleshoot what you've done wrong so that you can improve that process? So people don't tell you all of the process that involve in building you up in a way to check the things you're doing wrong. That continuous feedback is important, right? Who looks at your experience and says, is this fit for what they want to hire me for here? So all of those things are very important. So if you want to join us today only, we will be giving you an offer. If you look at all of this, give a special offer for today. This has increased on our website or anywhere else, but because you're giving us your time and you're here today, if you want to join, right, Tyra, you can pop the link here.
Yeah, I just did.
If you want to join, just people in the webinar. In fact, the people that have missed the webinar, we will think about that internally and see if we want to give them that opportunity. But because you're also here and you've stayed to this point, Tayo, the last thing we want to give for free, and then we can call it a day.
Yeah. So if you would, I'll just quickly address the question. So the live sessions are how many times in a week, the timing, mornings or evenings? So live sessions are in the evening, 5 p.m. Queensland time, 3 hours. So we only ask for 6 hours of your time per week. So 5 to 8 p.m. Queensland time on Thursday, 5 to 8 p.m. Queensland time on Friday. And as you can see, all the sessions are recorded. So if you're unable to catch up with one or two of the classes, you can definitely watch. You can definitely watch within the you can definitely rewatch that. And guys, because you stayed till the end of the program, I did promise you an offer. So I want you to go on our Instagram. I'm not sure if Tolu is still here. If you could drop the link to Instagram.
SyncSkills AU.
So SyncSkills AU on IG. You just comment starter pack, and I will send you a starter pack guide that tells you exactly all you need for you to have a successful career in the tech space. So just go to our most recent post on Instagram and comment starter pack, and you would get that. And that's really our gift, saying thank you for staying till the end.
And just to finalize, one of the other big issue, the elephant in the room, is that many recruiters don't understand different visa conditions. And so I will give you this advice as somebody that suffered from that. So whenever you're being called and they're asking you about the type of visa you're on, make sure you explain the condition of your visa, because most recruiters just know PR or citizen. Especially if you're not any of those, you've got to explain that, else that can be a blocker for you to get an interview or getting a job as well.
Yeah.
Super important, super important. And he's saying that there are some jobs as well. They say, hey, we want only Australian and PR holders, the employers, because they don't also understand the visa condition. So that's why there are so many things that can be in the slide that we support people on. That's why we're passionately telling you now that there's so many barriers that you face that we have solution to that can help you. For example, we've talked about how you can become better. This is our framework for you to become irresistible in interviews. Even if you're new to the country, you're nervous, that interview nerves that you feel, all of us feel it, or you're worried about your accent. I was so worried as well. Those things were impacting my interview. So we have a framework. This is like a rough sketch of what it looks like. But yeah, you just have to use the speak framework. We talk about that in more details on some of our YouTube videos, on how this has really helped me and so many people in our community to change their life. So you've heard it all. If the ball is in your court, if you want to join us, I say congratulations in advance. But let me thank you all so much. Send us that message.
Yes, please. What did you say we should comment again on the Instagram?
It's the starter pack guide. It's in the group chat, so you can just copy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
starter pack guide. It's the last part of your question.
Okay, I've seen it. Okay.
Furthermore, is there a room for payment installment? Okay, good question. Because you've asked, typically we don't, because we believe that the transformation happens in the transaction. Like the attitude of how you commit to the program is in how you also embrace it through the transaction. However, on a case-by-case basis, when we see that, oh, this person is actually going to commit to the program, because look at all the things we've said you need to do to get a job. See, if you don't navigate all of those things and more, you can't get a job. And that's the myth, and that's why people struggle. Look around. So if we know that you're going to commit to the job, it's a job as well, to the program, we like to make consensus and give you the opportunity to pay an installment. Yes. So the answer is yes. But the most important thing for us is the attitude. Because imagine us, putting a lot of effort to train to help you build the skills, and you're not committing to the program or for whatever reason, it's a waste of our own time and energy, and then it's a wasted effort for us. So we don't want to do that, because it's your result that makes us happy and keep us doing this or whatever mission we want to solve. If there's no result, you're in a mission of doing something and you're not getting result, you're going to burn out and just quit. We don't want to quit. So we only want to work with people that have a clear direction. If that's not a problem, yes, you can speak to our team. Send what keyword should they send so we know case by case.
Flexi support.
All right, you pop it in the chat. So you can do that. Send us on Instagram. Please follow us there, and then we would review that and have a chat with you. Let me just start by saying,
It's from this one.
That's okay. No, keep going.
So let me just say, there are people that would listen to this, ponder about it, continue with their word. Nothing changes when you don't make action and change something in your life. Many people, we've done this session now, I can't count anymore, right? And some people will take us on opportunity. We don't expect everybody to take us on opportunity, but it's an opportunity and invitation to change your life. So determine, you want to carry on what you're doing, we see in front, or you want to change your life, and we go on that exciting journey together. Trust us, we'll be here to support you, but it's not Rolls Royce. It's not like, oh, everything will be merry. And that's why we have shown you all the support. Like anything you face, there's a solution for it, our debt for you, to support you. So thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I'll pass it to Tayo to round up.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you all so much. We have absolutely loved your presence. We have loved spending this Saturday morning with you, and we do appreciate you for your time. Thank you. I hope we've been able to address all of your questions, but if we haven't, we're live on Instagram. Please see the link here. Leave us a message on Instagram and we'll definitely address that. But one thing I need you to remember, nothing changes if you do nothing, okay? So if you're an action taker and you know exactly where you want to be, I want to work with you as well. Myself and Noah would love to work with you as well. So let's get to work, guys. Nothing is going to change if you just keep complaining about it. But until then, and one last thing, if you're in Brisbane,
Yeah.
Queensland, Brisbane, we have a physical event on the 17th of May, which is in about a month. It's in Springfield, so you can find all the details. If you want to attend the event, just send events to us on IG and you get all of the link to attend this session. So we'll probably share the link on here as well. If you guys would like to be a part of that event. But thank you all so much for spending your Saturday morning, afternoon with us. It's been such a pleasure. And I hope that you guys enjoy, you guys have a lovely Saturday and have a lovely Easter as well. Thank you all, and we'll see you some other time.
Amazing. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.